right, as I have been mentioning throughout the show, that we will be looking at, rather should I say, we will be commemorating this particular month as the Red Ribbon Month. And so far as Campus Hangout, we've taken it upon our hands, and CUTFM as a whole, to make sure that we educate people and raise awareness to HIV. As last week, we also discovered that HIV is still one of the number one leading cause of death in South Africa. So clearly, like I said earlier on, I'm not sure, is it ignorance or is it people just being selfish by just transmitting and not protecting themselves, and then they are sure that they infect others. So I'm not sure which one is it, ignorance or transmission of being selfish, but one of the two. And it still confuses me that so many years that Red Ribbon Month has been active since getting primary. Yeah. I've known about Red Ribbon Month. I know what to do to make sure that I don't get HIV and AIDS, or maybe HIV before it gets to the last stage, which is AIDS. But yeah, no, seems like South Africans are not taking it as a serious matter. Yeah. We have Sister Noluthando in studio from Tholwana, Molemo.
Yes.
She will be making sure that we're getting educated in terms of, so like I mentioned earlier on, our focus point for today is medication as prevention. We know that, okay, let me school you. We have a scholar in studio. Yeah. So in terms of ladies, usually to prevent a pregnancy, we have different ways. So it clearly looks like HIV as well, it is well developed now. They also have it also has prevention. Right. You understand? So we're gonna educate you. Then you can go and educate high schoolers. Definitely. Sister, how are you?
I'm okay, and yourself?
I'm all good. Kindly please introduce yourself.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and good morning to the community in Tabanchu, if I am allowed to do that.
Yes, you are, specifically because you come from Tabanchu.
Yes, I'm from Tabanchu.
Shout out to Tabanchu.
Yes, and the LGBTQIA plus community as well, because this is where I'm working. That is the space that I'm working in. Okay. Yes, my name is Sister Gwedashe. I know you young people always say AKA.
Yeah.
Yes, Sister G. Yes, that's how my community know me.
Yeah, it sounds
good.
Right. Imagine how Sister G, Sister G or SG.
The coolness.
Okay, wait. No, Luthando Gwedashe. Is it from the G is from the surname?
Yeah, the G is from the surname. You know, people
I was like, my name is Molemo. Why next time you see Sister G, come on. Okay, sister, let's get straight to the point for today. Tholwana Molemo is the organization.
Yes.
Can you please give us a brief background of the organization?
Okay. The organization was started. I think it was in 2006. And yeah, it's an NPO, and then the focus was to say in our small communities, in our black communities, we are from poverty, most of us. So now the focus was to say, let us see what we can do to empower or to improve the lives of our people in the small communities. So then there were projects, different projects actually. They were Tala projects whereby there was planting of food vegetables for food security. We also have been we are doing more of your health services, and then we pride ourselves into saying we are focusing more on HIV. Yes, so that is what we are doing. We are operating here in Mangaung Metro, and then we are also in Tabumfutenyane as well. But then our mission is to have a footprint across Africa. So we are going big soon. You will hear us.
All right.
Yes.
So earlier on, I mentioned that today our focus point is medication as prevention.
Yes.
All right. So using medication in simple terms, medication will prevent the issue. Okay, I'm trying to make you understand.
Yes.
So now, how, if you may, possible, how did everything just come about where HIV has now medication for it to be prevented?
Okay. If remember when you said when you started Kabodi Red Ribbon, back then, I think it was just.
I was still a baby.
I was still a baby.
I probably didn't understand.
we used to preach ABC to prevent HIV. ABC, abstain, I can be faithful, condomize. That is what we used to preach.
Okay.
And then it was discovered that is really not enough.
Okay.
We need other things. We need to be innovative to say, okay, these are not working for us. Being faithful, okay, yes, we all want to be faithful, but we can't. Somehow, yeah. Abstaining, come on. Even a 12-year-old will tell you now, sister.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
So, yes, condomizing, we're still preaching condomizing. We're still preaching it. But now, there were discoveries to say, okay, scientists discovered ARVs.
Okay.
And then these ARVs, now we have in 3 categories that we are using as prevention.
Okay.
We are using what we call a pre-exposure prophylaxis, which is PrEP.
Okay.
This is where before you are exposed to the virus. And then we're also using the post-exposure prophylaxis, which is PEP. This is where now if you can come in contact with somebody sexually with somebody who is HIV positive, and then you go and get treatment on time. And then we're also using our normal so-called ARVs. Now you are HIV positive. You are taking your ARVs, but to make sure that nobody else gets the HIV from you, then you are requested or you are advised to take it the way you're supposed to take it, and then you make sure that your virus is always suppressed. Then in that way, we are preventing you from spreading it to somebody else. So that is what we wanted to talk about, because in our communities, we have introduced PEP. Yes, it has always been there, but it was used mostly for sexual assault victims, but we are using it more
to more people as
yes well. And then but we are going big on PrEP. That is what we need to be preaching.
So with my understanding is that PrEP is when I, as Meg's Mamu, I'm still negative.
Yes,
I'm still able to get it, but if I become exposed to HIV and I become positive, I no longer can't continue with PrEP. Instead, I can take my ARVs.
Yes.
Okay. But now my question here, I need you to think about it that I'm going to ask. And now I'm going to PEP, right? Is that PEP, right?
Yes.
How many hours can at least, as let's say probably I was exposed to somebody who is positive, and now I am aware of that. How many hours at least can I get assisted for?
Okay.
Yes. Let's take a very quick break. We'll be right back for that one.
Okay.
Thank you. Sister G, okay? That's how she refers, as known as. Yeah, people refer her as that. From now on, when I see her, because I am relevant to go to Tabanchi. I know Tabanchi by head. Sister G. All right, Sister G, I asked you a question before we went off air, that PEP, we know with pregnancy, for instance, I think maybe it's more understandable this way. With pregnancy, you are able to prevent pregnancy within 72 hours by having your morning after pills. With PEP, is it the same thing? And if so, how many hours at least, or weeks or days, can I have them?
Okay, it works exactly like you are saying. When you are saying it works like your morning after pills, it works, or emergency contraception. I get it, we take it before 72 hours elapses.
Yes.
So you have to count 72 hours. Let's say, I like to make practical examples. It becomes easy for people to understand. Let's say you had your fun and on Saturday night, and then it was around about midnight. And then you start counting your your 72 hours from that midnight until when will that 72 hours be? So it's going to be 12 hours the next day, and then on Monday it's going to be how many hours? 24. So your 72 hours shouldn't lapse.
So it's basically like a day, which is 24 hours, and at least 12 hours.
And 12 hours. Yes. Okay.
And then that's if it lapses hour, just know it's their color for you. Eh?
Yeah. It's
make sure that your 72 hours does not elapse. So it works exactly as preventing pregnancy.
Yes.
Look how smart things are getting.
Right.
Things are getting smart. So HIV thought it's gonna be smarter than the scientists.
Now we are outsmarting it. We are outsmarting it.
Is there is there okay? What future do you think that as people of South Africa we have with HIV? Because looking back at, like we mentioned, back then you guys were preaching ABC when Red Ribbon started, the Red Ribbon thing became a norm, and now we are preaching being exposed through medication and prevention in more in better advanced methods. Yes, if I can say it. What's the future? At least what can you think about the future?
Yeah, there's quite a lot that is happening on the background. Firstly, let's talk about what are the goals. What is the country planning? We have what we call Millennium Goals. Okay. By 2020, there should be certain things that should be done. So amongst those, there is a goal that talks directly to HIV. Okay. And then that goal says by 2030, we shouldn't be having any new HIV infections. So meaning if you're HIV negative now, we are counting on you to remain HIV negative. We don't want a new generation of HIV positives. So that is a goal that we are working towards. The Department of Health, together with us, the partners, we are working towards that goal, hence these new innovations. So even with the ARVs, there's new innovations as well, the injectable ones, even though our country, we don't have them as yet. Because, the finances and everything, but we will be getting there. For those who are already HIV positive, there are changes that are going to be coming to make their lives easier. Because some people, they are saying pill fatigue, taking pills every day of your life. It's really
hectic.
It's hectic.
It becomes boring, becomes tiring.
Exactly. Yes. So we will be having injections in the near future, hopefully very soon. So that is the future. We are looking at a future without HIV. Yeah.
All right. So now, Sister G, in conclusion of our conversations today, looking at the time, we have 8 minutes before we close off the show. Yes. What is it that you have? Okay, before I get to that, is there anything that you want us to cover from your side?
I want to cover the part where we are saying if you are HIV positive, it doesn't really has to change, especially as a young person. It doesn't have to change anything. You will make minor changes in your lifestyle, just to say, okay, I cannot be HIV positive and then taking my medication together with alcohol. I'm not saying you stop drinking. I'm saying,
but you cannot combine them.
You cannot combine them. It's just those minor changes and remaining on your ARVs. We have what we call, it's a campaign that will be coming soon or all over. Okay. What we call U is equals to U, whereby we are saying undetectable is equal to untransmittable. So if you are HIV positive and your virus is undetectable or is lower than suppressed actually, then you cannot transmit it to anyone else. So it means we are also counting on you as an HIV positive person to kind of save the country, save everybody else. And we are saving you by saying, even if we are counting on you to save. You're also saving yourself because you are avoiding reinfections from everybody else who is HIV positive also. Yes.
I mean, we cannot say much more than we have already.
Right.
Yes.
I believe we've this 6 minutes. This is us wrapping up the conversation. I'm hoping to hear from Tholwana Molemo.
Yes.
To have them more. You see, this week we were looking at medication as prevention. I believe them as the organization, they can assist us in understanding it maybe in a broader aspect. We got to understand medication this week. They can have something next week. I love what I'm hearing on air. This is us raising awareness to HIV. It is still Red Ribbon Month right here on Campus Hangout with myself, Megs, Mamo, Sister G. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, and we're looking forward to coming back.
Thank you so much.